Hello everyone, it's me, Undead Viking, coming to you from my basement and my game room once again with another video review of a board game. This is a game I've had for a while actually. I've been meaning to review it for quite some time, so I do feel bad about the fact that I've had it on my shelf and I played it since the designer was kind enough to make sure that I got a hold of a copy, but sometimes these things slip through the cracks, and so I do apologize for the lateness of this, but I am really glad that I finally got around to it because I really want to tell you about this game because I really enjoy it. The game is Sunrise City. This is a game put up by Clever Mojo Games. One of their games before this is one of my favorite Dice Heroes that they have, Alien Frontiers. I've done a review of that. Another game by them that I really enjoy. This game steps away from the science fiction theme and goes into the theme of city building. A theme that I really like. A theme that I think it just appeals to me due to the fact that I remember playing a lot of SimCity when I was younger. Still play SimCity. I'm still waiting for like the newest version to come out. Yeah, it's really cool. But I just like the idea of building a city from the ground up. I have a couple of friends actually who are civil engineers, and as dry as that job may seem to many people, I'm always really fascinated when they talk about the trials and tribulations of how they go about zoning things out and plotting things for a city and things like that. And I find that just kind of neat and fascinating in a way. Something I don't think I'd ever have the patience to do myself, but I definitely like hearing the stories. Now, and that's what Sunrise City is about. Sunrise City is about each player playing an entity, if you will, an employer that is taking part in rapidly growing the city that is Sunrise City by placing different zoning districts down and things like that. And I know one of my favorite games, if you've watched that review, is of course Urban Sprawl, which is also about building a city. This game couldn't be further from Urban Sprawl as far as the actual gameplay is involved. Urban Sprawl is a very antagonistic game where everybody's kind of at each other's throats most of the time, and a lot of chaos and things like that. It's something I really enjoy. This game is much lighter. It is much more family friendly, if you will, and also it doesn't have the length and complexity that Urban Sprawl does. But anyway, that is tying into what I'm going to explain to you how you play the game, and it also is tying into the conclusion, which theoretically you'll watch after I explain to you how to play the game. But first things first, or second things second, let's tell you how to play Sunrise City. Alright, here we go. Okay, at its heart, Sunrise City is a tile game, and the tiles come in two different types. You get a giant stack of these zone tiles, and you'll be drawing those. To start off the game, you put this tile right in the middle of your table, and this is the City Hall zone tile. And also, you have these really big, huge, you get a bunch of these. These are like your different building tiles, and then you notice that these are longer, obviously, and you notice they're very thick. And the reason why they are this thick is, one, it's pretty distinctive and cool, but also you have this thing where these tiles are big and chunky, and you're going to be stacking them on each other. And so as you play the game, your city's going to come alive and get three-dimensional. And so if these weren't thick like this, you wouldn't really notice that. To begin the game, however, you have these cards that are called roll cards, and depending on every person will get 4 of these cards dealt to them, and these cards are basically little jobs that you have, so zoning commissioner, the union boss, and city manager. Okay, so each one of these cards will have a name and have some ability they have that basically allows them to break the rules in some way, and they have this number on top. The number is important due to the fact that when the gameplay starts, the player that has the lowest number of the roll that they chose will get to go first, which is pretty important. So sometimes like different rolls will be pretty powerful, but they'll have a higher number, so they won't be able to go first. So it's one of those things where you kind of have to weigh the odds, if you will. But to begin the game, each player gets 4 of these cards. They'll look at their 4 cards. They'll pick one, and then they'll pass the rest to their left. They take the cards the other person gives you. They pick one of those. They pass them to the left. They take the cards. So until you have 3 cards, and a 4th card will just be discarded and not used. Then you will be dealt these zone cards. Zone tiles. Each person will get 4 of these. Zones come in different colors: red, purple, yellow, and let me see if I can find green. There you go. And then you get 4 of those, and you'll get 4 of these big chunky city tiles. And the first thing that happens is people will start placing zones on the board. So and then you do this around the table one by one. And so the only rule that you have is that they have to match up at least in one spot. You notice that there's no little sidewalk over here, but there's a sidewalk there, so it matches up in that location. Now, if I played this tile, you couldn't play it here because of the fact there's no sidewalk there. But you could, in turn, if you wanted to, you could play it like so, because of the fact that those sidewalks meet up. Now let me see if I can find one just to demonstrate this. Okay, you'll notice that here, like the water and water normally that wouldn't be valid, but because of the fact that this tile's here now, you can match those 2 up, and so that's a valid placement for a tile. And this will go on. And the thing that I should point out is that a way for you to earn points during zoning is that if you actually make a zone by placing 2 of the same color next to each other, you earn a point. This would earn a player a point for doing that, for placing that next to each other. And let me see if I can find another one of those blue. I shouldn't say that's purple, because there is actually purple, which, I don't know if you can tell, and blue, so you can kind of tell the difference there. But let's say another person was to place this down. Once again, they've completed a zone. That would be worth a point as well. And let's say finally a third person places this down, and now they actually, because they're connected to 2 of them, they're going to earn 2 points for that. Now I'm going to tell you, I'm talking about points, and I just wanted to show you the scoring tableau, if you will. You notice that it starts off here at 1, goes all the way to 9, there's that star on the top. So each person will have a scoring peg like this, and they'll start and they'll go up to the top. Now, once you go up and over the top, you restart over on the bottom again. So if you were at 7 and you earned 4 points, you go 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Now, as soon as you pass by the star, you will get one of these guys, and the person who has the most of these stars at the end of the game is the winner. Now, the interesting thing is that if you can somehow manage to finagle landing directly on the star, you actually will earn 2 of these particular. So that's kind of one of the little added rules, is that you're always trying to land your dude right on top so you can earn that double star point, if you will. And I really like these. These are kind of cool, and they're nice and thick and nice and wooden pieces. So anyway, now I'm just going to throw some more zones out there just so you can see how this works. And I apologize, this isn't going to be all that strategic, if you will, but I'm just going to try to place these out as best as I can, and so you can kind of get an idea of how this will work. And one more there. And normally, it wouldn't be a perfect little square like this as I'm creating. I guess I just enjoy symmetry. But normally that wouldn't happen, because people will block off certain spots, and certain areas will get built out and what have you. But finally, when the time comes, after all the zone tiles are out and have been placed, people will have their hand of these, and they'll start placing these particular tiles. And here's one that's a double yellow spot. So right now, there's no way to place that, and actually, the person who had that probably would have endeavored to have a double yellow location on the board. However, you will have a situation where, let me just find a tile that'll work. And of course, now I'm having trouble finding one. Here we go. So, we have this tile, and you'll notice that it is green and yellow. And so a person, on their turn, will be able to place that there, and they'll be able to earn the points for having both the green and the yellow satisfied. And you can only place these if you can actually manage to match both of the colors. And if you can do that, you'll earn the points that are on the tile. Now you'll see that there's these bonus points of a 4 and a 3 on the sides. Now, how do you earn those? Well, prior to placing any of these, they will have a bidding round. There's a lot of different mechanics going on in this game, and I do like that. I do like it when games kind of smoosh together lots of different mechanics. And there is a bidding round. Now, you get these chips, and once again, really, really nice quality, big, thick wooden chips. They have this nice graphic of Sunrise City on there. And starting with the first player, you'll bid on a location where the blue will say, I want to be able to build there. And then, green will say, I want to be able to bid there. And yellow will say, well, I want to bid there. And, red will say, I want to build there. And this goes around and around. So now blue says, once again, no, I want to build there. And so on, they'll go around. Now, the interesting thing is that if nobody else places your thing, green could place another one there. If you put 2 on a spot, that locks it down and nobody else can take it. So now yellow gives up on that particular location, says fine, I'll go there. Red locks that down, and then it comes back all the way around to blue, and blue can lock that down, and so on and so forth. Now, after all the bidding is done, I'm not going to show you all the bidding. You remove everything but the topmost chip to designate who is going where. And then those are those locations that if you build on that location, and I didn't place one on there, so let me just do that like this. And you build this on this particular location where you'll see there are those 2 spots. The people that own that spot, because they bid on it, red and green, will earn the bonus points for that spot. Now the person that lays the tile gets the tile points, but the person that with this spot, in red, would get 4, and then the person that has that, which would be green, would get the 3. And that's how you earn those bonus points if you manage to place them on those locations. Now, I'm just going to drop some tiles so you can kind of see how this works. And I know there's going to be some people saying, well, those aren't legal as far as those locations, but just bear with me. So let's say, and I should mention that some tiles like this will have purple, and you notice they're always 0. Purple is wild. It can be any color. So purple could actually, that particular spot could go there, because even though it doesn't satisfy the blue, you can have that location. And the same thing goes, for this one. Green and purple, so on and so forth, like this. So I'm just dropping them at this point. Now, the interesting thing is that as the game progresses, you can actually start placing tiles across different locations. Normally, you can't build across the water on a level 1. So actually, I think I placed that one incorrectly. I wouldn't have been able to place that there. But in this case, if there was water there, they would cross over the water because you're up a level. Also, interestingly, once you get up to second level and higher, for every time that you're going to be building another level, as far as like an odd number level, you'll place one of these tokens on there, this little black token. And what that does, it means the next time somebody builds on this particular location, it'll be number 3, earning you 1 bonus point. After the first level, every odd one will earn you bonus points. So if somebody builds on there again, let's just throw one on there, then that would earn them a bonus point. Somebody builds on there again, now because next one will be the 5th, that's going to be worth 2 bonus points. So you place 2 of those markers. So next time somebody builds on there. This continues on for 3 rounds. After you place all of the tiles, the city tiles that you can, sometimes very rarely you won't be able to place some of them. You then go on to the next round. Everybody picks their role that they want. And it should be noted that at this point, the person that actually wins by picking like the role that has the lowest number will get to decide which direction the expansion's going on. They'll pick north, south, east, or west as far as where the zoning is going to go. And that means that people will have to zone in that direction. Only the zones have to go the way. You don't have to build in that direction. You could build down here after, say, going north. But that does determine which way the zoning happens. You have 3 rounds of that. Once you get done with the last round, you've placed all of your tiles and placed all of your buildings, you count up how many stars each person gets, and whoever has the most wins the game. And that's how you play Sunrise City. Alright, let me tell you what I think of the game. Okay, that's how you play. Seriously, I mean, I know I referenced it while I was talking about the gameplay, but I can't get over how thick these tiles are. I mean, look at that. That's huge. Look at my thumb. See, I'll put it right there. I mean, that's like 4 tiles. I mean, these things are just, they're a good 1/4 inch thick. I just think that's really cool. And obviously, you know, since the fact that you're stacking these tiles on top of each other, you know, they needed to be thick, because if they were like, you know, just really thin, it wouldn't be as impressive, and it would be kind of tough to tell the different number of levels as far as that's concerned. All right, so there you go. There you have it. That's how you play. I kind of, like, as I said in the introduction, I didn't really think this game was all that complex, and it really isn't. You know, I do find the mechanic of the bidding, it seems to me that I wish there was, I guess it's the one part of the mechanics of the game that really clunky or clunkify up the game. It seems like they had to have a way to determine you know, who got to put what where. But you know, with the bidding, it always seemed like, you know, people would look at their tiles, and inevitably the same 2 people would need the same spot, you know, to earn points, and they would just stack those chips one on one, and then like, and the other thing is that if you put one chip down, if it gets back to you, it just seemed like the most valid option at that point was to put another one on top of it, to just claim it and be done with it, and to own that particular spot. But even so, you know, it just seemed like it was always a good idea, you know, to just focus on those 1 or 2 spots that you really needed, and then, you know, just didn't really worry about the others, because like so you get that maximization out of 1 or 2 of your tiles, and you kind of hope the other ones would work out. I mean, it was just my experience when I played the game. But then again, I'm probably overthinking a little bit, because this game is, I really feel like this game is meant to be very light and very, not, like I said, non-confrontational. It's just supposed to be kind of fun, and the colors, it's bright and it's vivid, and I really do like the components of the game. I mean, like I said, everything is really thick and sturdy, and it's nice. I do think that the game would probably be a lot less interesting, a lot less fun, if they hadn't actually put those different jobs, those cards with the different vocations in the game. That actually adds immeasurably to the gameplay, and it really is a good thing that they put that in there. Other than that, I mean, like I said, the game is quick, it's fast, you can teach it quickly, and it's, you know, it's relatively challenging. You can have a situation where, you know, one person can kind of vault ahead, and they're just getting really good points. Maybe they're hitting the star at the end of the scoring track, you know, on a repeated basis, because there really isn't much you can do to prevent somebody else. I mean, this is one of those games where you just kind of have to grab what's best for you as early and as often as you can, and hope that, you know, you just get better tiles than the person, or situationally you have better options available to you, the other players. So you can kind of get that feeling of, well, I played this game as well as I possibly could, but the stuff didn't draw well for me, you know, and I can see a lot of people having a problem with that. But if you're playing a game looking for a game with a lighter flair to it, and more of a just kind of a conversational tone, if you will, as you play the game, it's a little bit too long to be a true filler. But I do, if you are part of a gaming group that has a gaming night, and you know, because it satisfies up to 4 players, you know, and it works really well with 2, I might add. This is definitely a game that you could crack out, you know, bust out a 2-player game in a half hour, maybe 40 minutes, while you wait for other people to arrive, so you get that, you know, 5-player game later. And it's just, and like I said, it's not going to tax your brain at all. It's just going to be very light and enjoyable. and a good time. I really enjoy it. My daughter, who's 5, with some coaxing, I've gotten her to kind of learn how to play the game to match up the colors and stuff like that. And it's always good because, you know, with the numbers and everything like that, she enjoys adding them. So maybe if you're somebody with children, it might be something you may be interested. Obviously, we take out the like vocations and the roles, and we just focus on, you know, building up the tiles, and that's what Rylan really enjoys. And you know, hey, I mean, if it's a game that I can get her to sit down and stop watching cartoons for, you know, a half hour and concentrate on a board game, it's definitely gonna get a thumbs up from me. So anyway, that's Sunrise City. Very enjoyable, light, family-friendly game. Check it out. If you have any questions or comments, as always, leave them below, and I'll answer them as quickly and as efficiently as I possibly can. Thank you very much for your time watching this video, and until next time, that was me talking about another board game. I'll see you at the next review. Thanks a lot.